welcome back to another video on astrology. In this video, I'll be talking about the Hindu New Year, Tamil New Year or Malayalam New Year or whatever you may call it, but it's basically the Hindu New Year, which falls somewhere between 13th April or 14th April, as the case may be. I've already done a Tamil version of this. It was uploaded on the same date as Tamil New Year or the Hindu New Year on April 14th, but many of my subscribers wanted it in English also, and that's the reason why I'm repeating it. And in case you also know Tamil and you've seen the video, there's no need for you to see it, but there are some additional points that I'm planning to discuss in this video. It will help clear some of the doubts that you have in astrology in relation to the calendar. So let's try to understand what is the New Year as per the Hindu system. So what is New Year is when the sun moves from Pisces to Aries. When the sun moves from Meena Rashi to Mesha Rashi. Why is it so important? Is because the entire 360-degree circle starts with its zero on the beginning of Aries. So Aries happens to be the first sign, and the 0 degree of Aries happens to be the 0 degree of the entire zodiac cycle. So the sun just enters the 0 degree, and that marks the beginning of the new year. So now we have Jagannatha Hora here. This is a software that is available for free on the internet, and it's very easy to install this. In case you haven't done it so far, please kindly do it. So look at the date here, April 12, 2020. And look up here, you see that the sun continues to be in Pisces or Meena Rashi. And you can see the degree over here, sun 29 degrees, Pisces 03. It just got to travel a little more to reach 0 degrees. So what we do here is, you have an option here to increase the time interval by days or hour or month or year. And so let's increase it by the hour. So I add hours to it. So, or maybe, okay, I'm going by an hour. So it is like, I'm just increasing. You can keep an eye on the degrees here. On April 13th, 4:43 a.m., 22 minutes. So let's continue to increase it. It's now 29, 27. So let's do it a little more, make it faster. You can click consecutively 3 or 4 times, because it's now, you can watch here that the sun is still in Pisces. Then let's increase it by 1. It's now 5:43 p.m. Just keep increasing it. You see here, so you see here sun is at 29 degrees 59 minutes. It's about to make a change to 0. You can see here again sun is in Meena Rashi. So from now on, let's increase it by maybe a minute. So just keep clicking it. Now it's at 29:59. It's almost there. Almost 29:59. So you can see here sun is at 0 degrees 0 0, and you have a look here at the chart. The sun has moved into Aries. April 13, 2020, 7:52 p.m. This is with reference to Chennai. Now, if April 13th the sun had moved, why was the Hindu New Year celebrated on 14th? The reason is this transit happened after the sunset and after almost the day is over. So you can't celebrate the whole of 13th as the New Year. That's the logic. The celebration was on the next day, April 14th. So in this, until now, we have explained to you how to actually move the planets little by little to find when it transits. You could use this for any planet. If you want to know when Jupiter transits or when Saturn transits or when Rahu transits, any graha in the horoscope, if you want to know when it transits, use the same method. You have this option of increasing it by year, month, day, hour, minute, and even 15 seconds interval. So you are not anymore dependent on anyone else's panchang or a website to tell you what would happen in the year 2030 or 2040. You can do your own panchang with this. So now comes a very important point. Was this followed by the rest of the world? That's the next question. So for this, let's look at Wikipedia. Mesha Shankranti. Now, why is it called Mesha Shankranti? Because Shankranti means the time, the point, it's related to the sun's movement from one side to another. And Mesha Shankranti means from Meena, the sun enters Mesha. That's why it's called Mesha Shankranti. So you can Google this. The link has been provided here in the description section of the video. So here you will see Mesha Shankranti is one of the 12 Shankrantis of the Indian calendar. Okay, you can read the rest of it at leisure. But what is very important here is it is related to the equivalent Buddhist calendar based New Year festivals in Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, parts of Northeast India, Vietnam, Xuan Bana, China, and it is referred as Songkran, Songkran. Songkran is for Sankranti. Now, this is another page, the history of April Fool's Day. And once again, the link for this page has been provided in the description. You can read it at leisure. This is with reference to, did the Western people also follow a calendar that was similar to ours? So that's the point. So here we get to know that in the year 1582, Pope Gregory XIII, he introduced the calendar which we now follow as the Gregorian calendar. The international calendar right now is called the Gregorian calendar. And previously, the New Year has been a week-long celebration that took place from March 25 to April 1. Why was it March 25? We'll come to it later on. Under the new calendar, however, New Year Day was moved to January 1st. So the Pope actually shifted from the March end season for the New Year to begin to January 1st. The reform of the calendar took place in France under the rule of Charles IX. So since communication moved slowly in that age, news of the reform about the new calendar took years to travel. Those who did not receive the news for several years, in addition to those who refused to accept the new calendar, continued to celebrate New Year's Day on April 1 itself. Over time, these individuals were labeled as being backward and were teased for their foolish beliefs that the new year actually began on April 1. This teasing has now become the April Fool's Day. So from this story, you understand that even the Western world had been using April as the first month. But why the difference in dates? So let's go back to Jagannatha Hora. So let's try to understand how the Western world views the situation. According to the Western world, let's say the Western sun sign. The Western sun sign says that Aries is from March 20th onwards. And so let's find out why. So here we will shift the date to March 20th, which is according to them, the sun sign of Aries. Okay, 20th, or if you want 21, it's fine, but it doesn't matter, plus or minus 1 day. 20th. So you see on March 20th, 2020, the sun is not in the Indian chart, it is not in Aries at all. Then why do they say, the Western world say that March 20th or 21st onwards, it is Aries, the sun sign? So now this takes us to another important factor called the Ayanamsha. This is the difference between the Indian system and the Western world. There's something called the Ayanamsha, which you can find here, File, Edit, Modes, View, and Preferences. So go to Preferences, click on Calculate, related to calculations, and select Ayanamsha. And you'll know here that I have used True, Lahari, or Chitrapaksha Ayanamsha, which is why I got the sun here. But the Western astrologer would say, no, we are not prepared to use any Ayanamsha. We are going to use tropical system, which means no Ayanamsha. Okay, so they are not going to use this Ayanamsha factor. So here you see, and in this page here, Ayanamsha 000. That means the tropical system means 0 Ayanamsha. Now if it's 0 Ayanamsha, you will see the sun is moved into Aries. And so you see here, sun is in 0 degrees. So according to them, if you don't use the Ayanamsha, March 20th is actually the beginning of the new year, which kind of is a very interesting fact because this tallies with what is called the equinox. Now, what is equinox? Means equal days and equal nights. On March 20th, it may vary between plus or minus 1 day. The length of the day and the length of the night is equal days and equal nights. It happens only 2 times a year. So go back, let's look at the page underneath here. You see sunrise, it's at 6:16 and sunset is 6:16. So it's correct. So the Western world used an exact pointer in the sky that they know by the measuring the length of the day and measuring the length of the night, and when they know it is equal, they know that this is a very important event in the sky, and that's the reason why they selected March 20th. So suppose you say March, April, May, June, July, August, September. September is the 7th month from Aries, and Septa is Sapta. In Sanskrit, Sapta means 7. Septa, I think in Latin also it means 7. So then the next month is 8th month, which is Octa, Art in Hindi. Then we have Nava, 9, November, and then Desa, Deka, December. So you see that the month numbers tally with their names. If you start from Aries, but they had started it in March itself, and so this is the reason why I would like to tell you that the entire world was using the March, April as the beginning of the new year. And I also told you about how it got shifted to January. So let me change back the Ayanamsha to what I always use, Lahiri Ayanamsha, and so now you will see the sun going backwards. So now you understand why the Western sun sign and the Indian sun sign generally do not tally, because of this factor called the Ayanamsha. For example, look at this chart here, March 21st. If March 21st, the Western sun sign astrologer will say that this person is Aries. And so you expect the sun to be in Aries, but sun is not in Aries, it is in Pisces for the Indian astrologer. With reference to this, you must also watch a video on internet, a very popular video. I'll provide the link beneath. You can search for it on YouTube. Just type Bill Nye on astrology, BILLNYE on astrology. He disproves astrology in less than a minute. It's a very interesting video. Watch that video and come back to my video and make your comment. I'll be expecting it. So in conclusion, I would like to tell you that the takeaways of this video are: you have now been introduced to the concept of Ayanamsha, and many people in India and especially beginners confuse Ayanamsha with the tilt of the earth, which is always fixed at 1 degree. It's at 23.5 degrees roughly. You can check it up by visiting astronomy websites, and that tilt is the same forever. It just goes around like this at that tilt. Okay, there's no difference at all. But the Ayanamsha is a different factor. But it so happened that last century, the Ayanamsha was going on, let's say 1950s, etc. The Ayanamsha was actually 23 and some change, and that kind of tallied with the Earth's permanent tilt. But now in this year, if a child is born, it's not 23 degrees Ayanamsha, it is 24 degrees. And so the degree will increase every, as the time goes by, year after year, it will actually it will increase. So once in 26,000 years, it will go through all the degrees from 0 to 360, the Ayanamsha. And that's a different topic. But I introduced this as, in this video, I've introduced the basics of Ayanamsha. And I have also introduced the difference between the Western and the Indian way of doing astrology charts. And I also taught on how you can find the transit of any graha. In this case, it happened to be the sun. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm sure you will have a lot of things to say. Please type them out in the comment section, and whenever I find the time, I'll answer them for you. We have come to the end of this video. In case you have any doubts, please type them out in the comment section, and whenever I find the time, I'll answer them for you. And see you soon in my next video.